Welcome to this presentation on 4 keys to financial health. I'm Lavonya Jones. As a certified master small business success coach, I'm passionate about entrepreneurship as a solution to economic injustice and inequality. I've spent my career committed to equipping high-capacity social impact leaders and innovators to live equitable lives that never omit people, purpose, and planet. Through my roles as the founder of Consciously Funded and program manager for HBCU VC, I work full-time to direct how capital is formed and distributed to increase opportunities for Black, Indigenous, and Latinx innovators by developing, connecting, and mobilizing the next generation of venture capital leaders in communities where entrepreneurs face barriers to accessing capital. To give you a little of my background, I am ordained under the Dominion Ambassador Network with a ministry that focuses on and emphasizes marketplace ministry and entrepreneurship. I started my career working in the entertainment industry, spending 17 years there. And my formal education includes degrees from Hampton University, Regent University, and I'm currently a doctoral candidate at North Central University. In this presentation, 4 keys to financial health, we'll discuss the financial foundations you need to leave a legacy of wealth instead of a legacy of debt, because there's really no in between. You're leaving one or the other. More specifically, in this presentation, I'll be sharing with you how to be a good manager of your finances, the keys to financial health, and how you can continue to stay on the right path to leave a legacy of wealth to the generations that will come after you. Each of you has a purpose and assignment that you were sent to the earth to accomplish. It is your responsibility to complete that assignment and pave the way for the generations that will come after you. You already have what you need. The decisions you make today will affect the world the next generation enters into. With that responsibility comes the responsibility to manage properly the resources you are given to complete your purpose. Being a good manager of your financial health does not mean just having enough for you and your immediate family to live comfortably. Being a good manager means being shrewd enough to access the resources that have been provided for you to fulfill your purpose, and then managing those resources in a way that you grow them to leave an inheritance to the generations that will come after you, so that they have what they need to fulfill their purpose. In this country, the United States, we not only have a physical health crisis with this pandemic, but we also have a financial health crisis. We have to redefine what financially healthy means. Things have changed. The economy has changed. The quote-unquote American dream now costs you an income of over $300,000. Job security is not where it used to be. To provide jobs for the amount of people in the world who need them, we would need 2 billion more entrepreneurs. In the U.S., only 5 million of the 28 million small businesses are even providing jobs for Americans. We must be in a financial position to be such a blessing to others that we leave this world better than we found it. In my business, I work with social impact organizations, and I guarantee you it's much easier to live on purpose when you have your own financial backing to put towards that purpose. If you see a need, do you have the financial means to meet it? If you see a problem, do you have the financial means to solve it? So if you look at your financial position today and your financial habits, what inheritance will you be leaving to future generations? Will you be leaving a legacy of wealth or a legacy of debt? What values and messages about money are we leaving to the next generation? I don't know about you, but my desire is not to live with not enough or just enough. I desire to live in a place of more than enough because my purpose is so big, it requires me to be in that place. It truly breaks my heart when I go into a store or a fast food restaurant and I see 60 and 70-year-old elders still working because their retirement is not enough to cover their medical and living expenses. That just should not be. So let's look at some keys to financial health. In his book, 5 Wealth Secrets 96% of Us Don't Know, Craig Oliver talks about the principles that the wealthy and those who leave an inheritance to future generations understand. He says that 96% of the population manage money in quote-unquote one jar, while 4% manage their money in quote-unquote 5 jars. 96% of the population focus on provision, while 4% focus on vision. 96% of the population invest in things that depreciate and pay lots of interest. They use much personal debt, while 4% of the population invest in things that multiply and almost never pay interest and almost never use personal debt. 96% of the population anticipate and prepare for a linear economy, and that's just not the way our economy is. But 4% anticipate and prepare for a cyclical economy, which is the economy that we live in. 96% leave an inheritance for no generation, but 4% of the population leave an inheritance for at least 2 generations. So here are 4 keys that I have outlined to financial health. First, you need to get clear on the values, messages, and goals about money and wealth you desire as your legacy. Are you teaching the next generation to rob Peter to pay Paul? Are you teaching the next generation to live paycheck to paycheck or paycheck to Monday? Are you teaching the next generation to spend impulsively? Are you teaching the next generation that lack and stress about finances is normal and okay? Secondly, you need to educate yourself on the financial options that are available to you. Knowledge is power, and what you don't know can leave the door open for destruction to come into your life. So it's important that you speak with a banker and a financial advisor on how to save, grow, and protect your finances. A financial advisor can assist you with asset allocation, charting your retirement plan, achieving tax efficiency, managing your risk exposure, and creating your estate plan. Learn from those who understand the laws of the system of money, because every institution in this world operates by systems and laws. If you don't cooperate with those laws, they will work against you. So you need to know how they work, what they are, so that you can cooperate with them. Thirdly, you need to establish a plan. I say this to my clients and my students all the time. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Once you gain clarity and you educate yourself, you need to establish an estate plan that outlines how you're going to leave the legacy you desire to future generations. Know where you currently are financially, where you want to go financially, and the steps you need to take to get there. Lastly, we hear this all the time: diversify, diversify, diversify. Diversify the financial options that you choose. So let's talk about that a little. At the basic level, you need a checking account, a savings account, life insurance, and a retirement account. If you truly desire to leave a legacy of wealth, then you need to have the foundations of wealth as a part of your financial portfolio as well. That includes businesses, investments, and real estate. Businesses, you need multiple businesses that don't require your presence to function. These need to be ventures that make money for you while you sleep. I read a story once of an entrepreneur who had left his 4 sons 59 businesses. Wow, what a legacy to leave. When it concerns investments, it would be beneficial for you to learn how to trade stocks and to make precious metals 5 to 40% of your financial portfolio, according to investment experts. When it comes to real estate, when you purchase a house, you don't own the deed to the land. So you need to also have land and commercial properties that you own, even if it's just something you buy and hold. You don't necessarily have to be a developer. You want to establish the financial means and develop a plan to invest in the dreams of future generations. This could include scholarship funds, foundations, or you could become a venture capitalist or an angel investor in future inventions and businesses. There are many organizations that now offer free training for those interested in becoming angel investors. Now let's look a little bit at what your spending plan should be. I like to use the term spending plan instead of budget. So one of the ones that I like is also shared in 5 Wealth Secrets, where you allocate 10% to tithing, 10% to charity, 10% to investing, 10% to saving, and then 60% of your income to spending or living expenses. And one of my favorite books on wealth, and one of the first books I was introduced to in college concerning wealth, is Secrets of the Millionaire Mind by T. Harv Eker. In this book, he explains that you should allocate 55% to necessities, which includes your expenses and bills, 10% to financial freedom, which is your investments and passive income, 10% to education, that's further education and personal growth, 10% to long-term savings, which are large purchases, 10% to a play account because you want to reward yourself. So these would be purchases you wouldn't normally buy. And then 5% to a giving account that you would use for birthdays, special occasions, holidays, and charity. Also, if we're going to build wealth, we need to consider something called inflation. You must protect your money and your buying power. And you can do that with precious metals such as gold. You see on the chart here to my left, your right, that $20 in 1998 could probably buy you a whole thing of groceries. In 2005, maybe half. But in 2013, and especially now in 2020, $20 doesn't get you much in groceries. So inflation has already been silently robbing you of your purchasing power since 1913, and it will continue to do so unless you protect your money and your buying power. We see on this chart on the right, your left, that since 1932, gold has outperformed cash by more than 4,300%. So again, we must protect our money and our buying power. So right now, my husband and I are focused on accumulating as much savings as we can in gold first, and then increasing all the other pieces we need to leave the inheritance we desire to leave for our family. We personally chose this strategy for our family because of this quote from Richard Russell that says, "Gold will be around. Gold will be money when the dollar and the euro and the won and the ringgit are mere memories." I know some people say that gold is God's money. So in closing, I would like to leave you with this quote by Rich Brott that says, when it comes to personal possessions, money and wealth, you can't take it with you, but you can send it on ahead. And so we want you to leave that legacy of wealth and send it on ahead to the future generations to come after you. So thank you for joining me today. And I would love for you to connect with me either on my website at lavonyajones.com, or you can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Coach Lavonya Jones, or on Twitter at Coach Lavonya. Thank you for listening to this presentation.